Okay, I'm back with another video. I'm in traveling, if you remember, and I'm at the quietest place I could find. Some music going. I think it's the Eurythmics from the 80s. Let's get into my topic today. Merging fields together. And I'm saying using conditional rules. I'm not talking about text formula where you make concatenates. I have a couple examples. I'll just touch on one brief and then go through that in more detail on another one. I've done a surprising amount of projects that they end up takeover projects. Someone starts it, and they get over their head, and they bring in someone to help get it right. And on a few of these, I've had, say it might be the work order number, could be the invoice number, some sort of number. They've entered it manually. So they might do that either through a text or a number field, but they literally doing it manually, and they've been doing it for a while, so they have a whole bunch of records with that old number in it. And then they say, you know what, can we do this, make it auto-generate the number, which is the way it should be. And I say, yeah, I know what to do there. But what you end up with is that field or a column with the old number. Then you end up with the new one you made, sort of takes over the other left. And then you need another one you have to make that puts those two together, because you want, especially on a table and a column, you want it to be the same column. And I've even seen them. I've seen lots of apps that have done, or takeover ones, where they don't know how to deal with it, and they have old number, new number listed places, which really messes up a table. It gets junky on a detailed view. So I'm going to take you through a couple examples here on how I approach that things. Okay, let's get in this topic of merging fields together using conditional rules. And I'm going to talk about what I just mentioned. Someone was doing manually entered work order numbers for a project I took over, and then they said they wanted it to be auto-generated. And I'm going to explain this with a spreadsheet here. Just picture this. These are the fields, and if you're looking at the records, it's going to look like this. You have what they used to be doing, this manual number. And they've been entering this in up until some certain point. At some point we do a switch over where we do it to auto. And I can get into probably a whole another topic of how you do that transition. But one of it is this manual entered field is going to go off the form of add new work order. And then it's going to take over. And in this case, you're going to do a formula that says 129 plus 1. So it jives it over, and you got to take into account where the auto increment is. There's a few things you got to do, but just trust me on this. It's generally going to take over, and the past numbers are going to be wrong because they don't deal with 129. But with that aside, you're going to have all these old ones until a certain point when they stop because they can't enter it anymore. The auto increment takes over where it should and starts adding them up, and you want to merge those into one field. To get these all into one field, you're going to have a number field, or it could be, depending on how if you have characters, letter characters in here, that could be a text field. But you're going to make one, and you're going to have conditions on it. It's pretty simple. You're going to say, if the manual is not blank, make the value the manual. So it's going to be all these, and they're going to be the right ones. And if the manual is blank, make it the auto, and it's going to shove these here. And so it's going to know the right ones to get. And again, these ones past here will be wrong because the math isn't right. Now let me put that in more context with another example. This is a commission thing here. Here's a bunch of fields, but there's two distinguishers. These people sell home improvement stuff, but if the commission, or if the lead for this job was generated by the salesperson, they get one commission. Right here, it's a static thing, 35%. And if it's the house generated through advertising or trade show or whatever, it's a smaller commission, slightly less. It's pretty simple. I've done complex commission structures. This is not one of them. So what this calculates in the commission record itself, it could either be this or this based on the source of the lead. And then some adjustment can happen to that usually. And then you have each one that's the adjusted self-generated or house-generated. But you want that final thing to be in one column. And that's what this is, commission due. Pretty simple. It's similar to that other number thing I just did. It just says, hey, if the source is self, make the commission self the self-adjusted one. If it's from the house, make it house adjusted. So when you're looking at, let's say, a table of commissions, this is where it's most important. It's in one column. It takes the two, puts them all in one column. And if you're looking at the details of any commission too, let's do an adjusted thing here. Now this you can sometimes handle with page display rules, but again, it's looking at the source, and then down here it populates the proper total commission, putting it in one column. There's lots of use cases for this. If you have multiple outcomes and one of those outcomes is dependent on some other value for the final outcome, then you can use conditions to drive that final value. Even though there's potential other values it could have been, the one it's going to be based on whatever, you're going to push into that column that you're going to use throughout your app. That's what I got for that, folks. Thanks.